Show us how you play babies.
Mom, help me play.
Hi. You want to be my friend?
Little fucking whore.
These 6 horrifying videos are so disturbing and unexplainable, they've been wiped from the internet. Watch them now before they disappear again. But beware, this will keep you disturbed for an entire day, particularly the first and last videos.
Show us how you play babies.
Mom, help me play.
Hi. You want to be my friend?
Little fucking whore.
Number 6, I hope you never have kids of your own. She's 6 years old, but the way that she's tearing into that doll, it feels like you're watching someone far older, someone far darker. Not playtime, not pretend, this is pure, unfiltered rage. The words spilling out of her mouth aren't childish nonsense, they're sharp, venom-laced words that hit like punches. You can't even wrap your head around it at first. How does a 6-year-old know how to hate like that?
You're a fucking whore. Get your life to fucking gather, baby whore. You're 4 and I'm fucking 6. So you need to fucking get your fucking life together.
Was that a gunshot?
Mm-hmm.
Fucking great. I love living in the ghetto.
I fucking hate you, little fucking baby. You need to fucking get your fucking life together.
You're a psycho.
No, I ain't.
I just want to be your friend, Chesney.
It don't fucking matter. You're an ugly ass fucking whore.
Why do you speak such dirty words?
Because I fucking can, little fucking baby. I'll smack her fucking bottom. Oh.
You're not even worried that we just heard gunshots outside the house.
But let me...
You keep watching, thinking maybe she's imitating something she saw on TV. Maybe it's just some weird phase. But just bear with the full video.
Kill this baby.
I hope you don't ever have kids of your own.
You are a bad motherfucker. That's why you have to always get in fucking jail.
You need help, child.
Fucking ugly ass fucking baby. That's why you're a monster, because you have green fucking legs.
That baby does got green legs.
I hate you. Fucking little baby.
You're going to therapy after this.
No, thanks. She is a fucking little baby. That's why I'm 6 and she's freaking 4. That's why she needs to get her life to fucking together.
She said you ain't got no friends.
No, she has 0 friends and I have 100. Yeah.
You see, suddenly, the phrases then sink in. That's why you're always in jail. You need to get your life together. Who talks like that? Not kids. It starts to dawn on you. She didn't make this up. She's heard this before, again and again, enough times now that she's parroting it, rehearsing it, turning it into second nature. Only she's not yelling at the people who said it. No, she's aiming at the one thing she can control, her doll. But it doesn't stop there. The way that she grabs the doll, the violence in her hands, it's not random.
Motherfucker. That's why you have to always get in fucking jail.
Little girls usually cradle their dolls and treat them gently like fragile versions of themselves, but she's not protecting it, she's attacking it. And if you know anything about how kids process trauma, that's the moment that it's going to click for you. She's not really going after the doll, she's going after herself. What kind of environment teaches a 6-year-old to see themselves like that? One Reddit user commented that it reminds him of something he saw once up close. He once dated a single mom with a daughter who was sweet on the surface but shattered inside. The girl would scream, curse, throw things, and even hurt herself. One day, she walked in, demanded that he change the channel on the TV. When he refused, she calmly dug her nails into her arm, peeling the skin without flinching. No tears, just empty eyes, like pain was all she knew. Her mother blamed the rough neighborhood, but neighborhoods don't teach self-destruction. Parents do, caregivers do, the ones that are meant to protect. So when he sees the girl cursing at the doll, it's very clear. Every insult, every outburst, she's learned from the chaos around her. She's echoing the fights, the insults, the moments she stood unseen while someone called her, or maybe somebody she loved, a monster. But here's where it gets really chilling. If this is how she's coping now, what happens when she's older? When she's bigger and stronger and the doll doesn't cut it anymore? Where does all that rage go? That's the part that no one talks about, the part that keeps looping in my mind after the video ends. Because she's not just playing, she's practicing. What about you? I'd love for you to discuss this in the comment section below. Let us know what you think about this particular incident. Number 5, disturbing cops. If you want to lose your mind, then this clip is for you. On December 9th, 2024, Robert Brooks, a 43-year-old black man, was transferred from Mohawk to Marcy Correctional Facility in Marcy, New York, where 5 officers brutally beat him from the arsenal to the infirmary. Brooks, handcuffed and compliant, died the next day at Wynn Hospital in Utica due to asphyxia from neck compression. Robert Brooks was strapped to a gurney and beaten to death by cops while medical staff stood by and watched. One nurse even smiled. It sounds like a horror movie scene, something too grotesque to be real, but it happened, caught on body camera inside of a New York prison. You'd think such footage would be enough to send shockwaves, force accountability, tear the whole place down brick by brick, but nothing happened. No intervention, no immediate outrage that changed anything. Why? How does something so brutal get brushed aside like it's just routine? While handcuffed and bleeding from the face, an officer forced a white object into his mouth and another held his throat. Multiple officers struck Brooks in the face, torso, groin, and buttocks. Some officers stood by without intervening. 2 officers then tried to throw the unresponsive Brooks out of a window before placing him back on the table, where an officer attempted a sternal rub. A preliminary examination listed the cause of death as asphyxia due to compression of the neck. Identified officers involved included CO Anthony Farina, Sergeant Glenn Trombley, CO Nicholas Anzalone, CO Matthew Gallagher, Sergeant Michael Marshaw, CO Christopher Walters, CO Nicholas Kiefer, and COs Along, Walrath, and Kessler. Marcy Correctional Facility had a history of abuse reports. Farina and Trombley were involved in the 2020 assault of inmate William Alvarez. Trombley was also involved in the 2015 assault of Equarn White, leaving White temporarily wheelchair-bound. Anzalone was named in a federal lawsuit for the 2020 beating of Adam Bauer, a non-violent offender. Bodycam footage confirmed his compliance and prior injuries. Following an internal review, Governor Kathy Hochul ordered the firing of the 13 officers and a prison nurse. By February 2025, 6 officers faced charges including murder, manslaughter, and tampering with evidence, with 17 staff members suspended or under disciplinary action. Robert L. Brooks, 43, was serving a 12-year sentence since 2017 for first-degree assault. He was a musician and had earned a GED while incarcerated. Tell me, what's your perspective regarding this unthinkable incident? Let me know in the comments below. Number 4, jumping to death. You wouldn't believe it if you hadn't seen the video. A woman, bold and fearless, standing at the edge of a frozen lake. Snow all around, and the bitter cold biting through the air. No hesitation, no second thoughts, just one sharp breath, and she dives straight into a hole cut out of the thick ice. The water below, black and deadly, swallowing her whole. And what happened next will leave you disturbed for the rest of your day. But why would someone do that? What could possibly drive a person to leap into a frozen river without any proper equipment? It turns out it wasn't just a dare or a thrill-seeking moment. It was something far deeper, almost spiritual. Anna Yuskova, 40 years old, a respected lawyer from St. Petersburg, wasn't trying to cheat death. She was performing a sacred ritual, the Epiphany tradition, which is a plunge into icy waters to wash away sins and cleanse the soul. But what was supposed to be an act of faith turned into something that nobody saw coming. And here's the cruel twist. She didn't come back up. Her kids watched it all unfold, her husband too. Imagine standing there for a moment, watching the person that you love disappear under the ice. The shock hasn't even settled before her husband, in full panic, jumps in after her. Desperate, searching, hoping. But he resurfaces empty-handed, alone. The river gives nothing back. The children, 10 and 14, are screaming on the shore, eyes fixed on the black hole in the ice where both parents disappeared. Why didn't anyone stop her? Why didn't anyone think this could go wrong? Because it's a tradition, a yearly ritual. It's done all over Russia, but this time the lake wasn't just cold, it was hiding something. Beneath the surface, powerful currents swirled, invisible but merciless. The moment that Anna slipped below, the river pulled her under, dragging her away from the opening. No chance to fight back. No second chance at all. Rescue teams arrived in minutes. Locals, police, divers, they were all working, breaking the ice, scanning the dark waters. 4 hours straight, searching, with nothing to show for it. You still think that's the end though? It gets worse, because that day, Anna wasn't alone on that ice. She wasn't just a mother, a wife, a lawyer. She was a believer, performing rites in front of her family, showing her kids something sacred, something brave. And right in front of their eyes, the sacred turned savage. But here's the final blow. The lake never gave her back. To this day, she's never been found. She's gone. The question still hanging in the air is, how did something so symbolic, so routine, so pure, turn into an irreversible nightmare? And more importantly, who's to blame here? Is it the tradition, maybe the faith, or is it the ice-cold indifference of nature itself? What's your opinion on this? I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Number 3, 1933 Moloch and Baal worship. They called it a play, but what kind of play ends with echoes of ancient gods and the shadow of child sacrifice? First, let's watch this.
Today, dawn, with hopes of freedom, happiness, and peace.
It happened in 1933, right in the middle of the World's Fair. The grand stage glowed under the bright lights. Thousands gathered, watching something that felt much more than entertainment. Colorized footage survives today, and even now, something about it feels off. Ritualistic, strange, and like almost too real. Why did it look like an old forbidden ceremony dressed up as performance art? Why were they reenacting something so dark? They titled it Romance of a People. But buried beneath the costumes and choreography was something else, a scene that to some resembled the worship of Baal, or worse, Moloch. Now here's where it gets even darker. For centuries, Moloch has been the name whispered in horror. He's the figure that keeps cropping up in the ugliest corners of ancient history, always tied to one brutal practice: child sacrifice. The Hebrew Bible warns about passing children through the fire to Moloch, describing it as something utterly detestable, foreign, and dangerous. But who was Moloch really? A god, a demon, a symbol? The easy answer: he was a foreign deity lumped together with Baal, the Canaanite god of fertility and storms. Baal wanted power, fertility, control over life and death. Moloch wanted blood. Simple enough. Or was it? Because here's the twist. Modern scholars aren't so sure. Turns out, when they dug deeper through the dusty old inscriptions in ancient languages, they found something curious. The word MLK kept popping up in Punic texts, but it didn't always read like a name. It read more like a type of offering. Was Moloch never a god at all, but just a label for a certain kind of sacrifice? Moloch and child sacrifice. And if that's true, who were these sacrifices really for? Baal? Some unknown entity? Or possibly, now here's the controversial part, were some early Israelites making these offerings to Yahweh himself? Think about that. Moloch idol now. The same god worshipped today, possibly connected to these gruesome rituals? Most scholars back away from that claim, calling it fringe and dangerous, but the possibility hangs in the air, unsettling and unresolved. So when the World's Fair rolled out its grand stage in 1933 and actors unknowingly recreated the symbols and posters of long-dead worshippers, was it really just a performance, or was it tapping into something much older and darker? Something that we've tried to forget? And here's the question that really nobody wants to ask. If the line between ritual and entertainment blurred once, how many times has it blurred without us even noticing? Tell us what you think below. Number 2. Bear charge encounter, Swedish wilderness. A bear was stalking them, quiet, patient, and uncomfortably close. That's how it started. Alone in the endless wilderness of the Swedish Lapland, Vahid Kolsberg and his loyal husky Riley had no idea that something was watching them. No noise and no warning, just the creeping sensation that something wasn't right. What were they doing out there, so far from civilization? Simple. They had set off to fish, planning to camp overnight on top of a mountain. That far north, the air feels razor sharp, and the trees stretch endlessly. There's nothing but silence broken only by your own breath. It's the kind of place that makes you feel invisible, or completely alone. That night, it felt like both.
Kom inte hit! Kom inte hit! Nej, 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 nej! Nej, nej! Gå bort! Gå bort! Kom inte hit! Kom inte hit! Kom inte hit!
But here's the twist. In Scandinavia, bear encounters are so rare, no one even carries bear spray. You can't, actually. Bear spray is considered a weapon. You need a license, but unless you're a forestry worker or someone is going out there every single day, that license isn't yours to have. And most of the people that do get it, well, they're making enough noise with chainsaws and heavy machinery to scare away every creature within miles. Out there, it's honestly safer to rely on the odds, the sheer size of the wilderness, the low number of bears, and the fact that Swedish brown bears are notoriously shy. So why did this one refuse to leave? Here's the math. Sweden's got about 2,500 to 3,000 brown bears, scattered thinly across the country, vast enough to swallow entire cities. In Norrbotten County, where Vahid was hiking, there are around 500 to 550 bears. The county itself is massive, 27,000 square kilometers of forests, rivers, and raw, unspoiled nature. And the human population was barely 197,000 people. That works out to roughly 0.003 bears per square kilometer. You're more likely to walk for days without seeing another human, let alone another bear. And yet there it was. This bear was not just passing through, it kept appearing. First at the riverbank where they were fishing, then later higher up as they set camp. Every time Vahid tried to scare it off, it would vanish into the trees, only to circle back again, lurking and waiting. He kept moving, packing up, hiking to new spots, thinking maybe the bear would get bored. But it didn't, not right away. Why didn't it attack? That's the part that rattles me. Bears in Sweden aren't aggressive, not like their North American cousins. They're secretive, avoiding conflict. To even spot one is rare, like we said. To have one shadow you deliberately and persistently is almost unheard of. Most likely the bear was curious, sizing them up, maybe even hungry after a long, lean season. But all it would take was one wrong move. One moment when curiosity tipped into something darker.
Härifrån! Kom inte hit! Kom inte hit! Hör du där?
Eventually, after what felt like hours of tense back and forth, the bear vanished. Just like that, it lost interest. It walked away, but here's where it gets chilling. What if it hadn't? I mean, if you think about it, you're out in the middle of nowhere, no weapons, no backup, and no easy exit. One animal, bigger and faster than you, decides it wants something, and there's absolutely nothing standing between you and the animal. The odds might be slim, but when it happens to you, it's no longer a statistic, it's absolute survival. And here's the kicker, the bear hunting season had just ended. In that entire massive county, only 20 bears had been legally hunted that year. 20 out of hundreds. It's supposed to keep the balance to prevent bears from becoming too accustomed to humans. But Vahid's encounter, it really makes you wonder. How many other bears are out there getting a little too bold? And more importantly, what happens when the next one decides not to walk away? What would you do if you were in such a scenario? Let us know down below. Number 1. Chernobyl mutants attacked stalkers. They saw something in the dark and it wasn't human.
Но днем мы не успели выйти, теперь нам приходится выходить ночью. Надеюсь, ничего страшного не произойдет нам в Чернобыльском лесу. Фиг его знает, какие животные тут водятся, как они на нас реагируют. Я надеюсь, у нас все пройдет.
It all started when they chose to leave the zone under cover of night. In daylight, patrols combed the area and moving with bikes made them too easy to spot. So they slipped into the darkness, thinking the night would keep them hidden. Chernobyl Red Forest. But in the forest of Chernobyl, it doesn't stay quiet at night. Every creak, every rustle felt loaded, like something breathing just beyond your sight. And somewhere deep in that black silence, something was watching. Why didn't they turn back? Because there wasn't a choice. The group was split. Some had bikes racing ahead to the outskirts, but the rest, just 3 of them now, had to move on foot. One of the bikers, Vova, had vanished without explanation. Maybe he stayed with the group, maybe not. No one dared say what they had really thought. They pressed on, reaching an abandoned village, its skeletal houses looming out of the dark. Shelter seemed like a relief, some place to rest and wait out the night. That relief did not last. Inside one of the crumbling homes, they found old mattresses and tried to sleep, but something outside wouldn't let them. A sound, soft, deliberate, but wrong. Like someone pacing just beyond the door. They didn't want to panic, so no one moved, no one spoke, but the noise circled, creeping closer. What was it?
Твою ж мать! Твою ж мать, блин! Что это было? Пацаны, подъем! Пацаны, водите!
Curiosity cracked before fear. One of them slipped outside, camera in hand, careful not to wake the others. And that's when he caught it. A flash of movement, low to the ground but fast. Too big for an animal, too quick for a person. On film, the shape almost looked human, but it was twisted, moving in ways that no person should. They didn't wait long for a second look. Climbing through a window, they bolted from the village, the dark pressing around them like a hand closing in tight. Each step felt like something that was just a breath away from grabbing at their ankles. By dawn, they'd reached the outskirts, blistered, bitten, and shaking. But safety didn't come with daylight. Watching the footage later, they saw it clearly. A human-like figure, but the way it moved just wasn't right. Joints were bending wrong, head tilting too far, like a predator trying to mimic a man. And just before the video ends, there it is, another figure, still watching from the shadows. That's when the real question hit them. If these things were never meant to leave the zone, what happens if they do? What do you think? We'd love to hear your views in the comments section below. And for more chills, just jump into one of our other videos as well. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you next time.